running through my mind all day, waiting for her show to play. Turn your radio on, she's gonna play your favorite song.
Hi, I am Brandi Richard Thompson, and this is Operation Growth. Here we will examine how to grow through what you go through. Let's grow together. So, last week on Operation Growth, we discussed relationships that last and went into detail about things that I don't really want to talk about on television again. Yeah, pretty much. However, this week, we are talking to one of my favorite people, Zanele Khanyile from Durban, South Africa. And we are talking about her work and all of the amazing accomplishments and things that she's done, how she's grown. And honestly, when I get to work with someone on the caliber of Zanele, to help them to identify what they want, how to get it, how to just expand on what they've already begun, it is sincerely an honor. And you will see from our conversation how much she is making an impact in her community and all of the amazing work that she's doing. And I hope that it will encourage you to think about not only how you can help the person in your backyard or the person in your hometown, but how you can connect and learn from women across the world who are engaged in the same type of work that you're doing and who have the ability to relate to you in a way that sometimes I don't think that we think about. And what's been amazing to me being a part of How Women Lead and this fellowship of women leaders is that I get to see myself at different stages along my journey in all of them, regardless of where they are in the world, regardless of what their background is. We have the same stuff going on. And so I hope that you will enjoy this interview with Zanele. Enjoy.
Good luck.
So tell me about Sisters for Love.
Sisters for Love, it's an organization, it's a charity organization that a friend of mine who's a Fulbright scholar started when she came back from the US from her Fulbright scholarship. She had to cut it short because of COVID. So when she came back, she realized that in her neighborhood, most people had lost their jobs. They just had no source of income, and because the country had shut down, fully shut down, and we have so many informal sector people that sell fruits and vegetables on the side of the road, and they live off that, so they couldn't do any of that. So she just reached out to about 6 of us who are her friends to say, what can we do? And then therefore we are putting money together and feeding those families. So we started in 2020, when the country went to full lockdown. That was in March. So we started in May, and we've been doing that since. We've got about 10 families now that we take groceries to every month. And we've got one student that we're taking through university. Yeah.
That's beautiful. So do you see it being able to expand or grow in the future?
We're expanding it and growing it, because it was started off informally then, but now we've formalized it, trying to get registration, get sponsorship, get it to be to increase beyond the 10 families, and also just to empower even the 10 families that we have, just to empower them out of poverty, that should something similar hit in the future, they are able to survive on their own without any handouts. So we don't want them to be dependent on us. We just want them to be empowered out of poverty. So yeah, we want to grow it, yes.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So I know that you're doing that, but you also work in the nonprofit space and do financial services for women to help them to um, advance financially and economically. So, can you tell us a little bit about that work?
Okay, that is cooperative banking. It's the entry level of banking in South Africa. And because of, I wouldn't say the level of poverty, but a lack of access to finance, especially for small businesses, we started formal, a formal bank for women and women in business in 2018, and we only got licensed also through during COVID in 2020. So it's a fully licensed bank for women that are in business that wouldn't ordinarily have access to finance, and it's finance for venture expansion or new venture creation. So it's those women that have started businesses, and some of them it's informal businesses, and some of them are formal businesses that that makes millions, but then they are also part of the bank. So it's all women that are in business who want to expand their businesses and want to start new businesses. So they're able to save with us and also be able to get loans with us so that they can grow their businesses and become more sustainable and more scalable financially. So we also give them, over and above the finance, we also give them business skills that they wouldn't ordinarily get anywhere from any bank. So it's that kind of support.
Do you see the growth of women's businesses as a result of the work that you've been doing over the past, what, 5 years?
Yes, we do. We have seen quite a number of businesses grow from this venture, because previously, like I will use an example of women in construction. Previously they'll be granted jobs, but then because they don't have access to finance, and they are given a period of time that if you get given a construction job, you need to have started it within 30 days and have finished it within so many days. And they will be going to every bank looking for finance, and then therefore end up losing the job being granted to someone else. So now with us, then they can come to us and say, here's proof I've been granted this job. Please, can I have finance? And then because they are our members, they bank with us, then we grant them finance. And then we're with the business advice that says, okay, if you've got this job and this is how you need to run with it, and this is how you need to make sure that from this job you get good references and you get another job over and above that, and also be able to maintain your financials in a way that you don't struggle with the taxes afterwards, and you don't struggle with paying salaries and paying your suppliers. So that's what we've been doing. And yes, we've seen jobs. I mean, we've seen businesses being scalable. We've seen women expanding their businesses. We've got a group of doctors right now currently that are building a hospital in a township that they wanted to build, but then on their own they couldn't, and therefore they have come together through this financial cooperative, and they're now working on their plans to build a private hospital in a township, which is something that is unheard of. So it just gives women opportunities that they wouldn't ordinarily have.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So, where did all of this come from? Was this something that you wanted to do? Was it a need that you felt that you wanted to share with other women?
It's always been something. My mother was a businesswoman. She was a serial entrepreneur. Though she worked as a nurse, she was a serial entrepreneur, starting businesses all the time. So I got that from her. I also started a business myself, and because it was so dependent on me, when I fell ill, it went under without me being physically there. The business couldn't sustain. So it was something that I really was passionate about, that I know that the business, women-owned businesses are behind growth of our societies and our communities. And therefore, if we can sustain women-owned businesses, we will be able to grow our communities and get them out of poverty quicker than any other, and in a sustainable way in that. rather than getting gifts and getting all sorts of funding that is really not sustainable. So for me, it was that I wanted to be able to give back the lessons that I learned from my own business going under, and also be able to give other women that don't have access to lessons that I've learned, and also that don't have access to funding that I had access to.
That's phenomenal. That's phenomenal. So does that mean that there's another business in your future, or does that mean that you want to stay in the space of giving back to other women so that they can create businesses?
There is definitely other businesses in the future. Staying with this business, with this corporate financial cooperative, has also made me realize that there are sectors that women exist in and have businesses in. However, they're not skilled enough. Currently, I'm working on a project to empower women that own bakeries. They have home bakeries that they're running. However, they are not, they're not skilled. They don't have standard recipes. They're not standardizing anything. And therefore, it will be difficult for them to expand, and will be difficult for them to access finance, to access bigger markets. And therefore, basically their business will stay in their own back kitchens. So therefore, I'm working on a Zanele Khanyile Academy, which is for chefs, women in the catering industry, which is my first profession, by the way, being a chef. So therefore, I'm quite.
You've been holding out on me, Zanele.
I know not many people know that I'm a chef. Yes. So that's one business that I'm working on right now, and I'm looking forward. I'm actually quite excited and looking forward to help women start expand those businesses, grow those businesses, and have collaborative efforts, because with South African communities, baking is big. So there is something baked at every occasion, doesn't matter how small, even if it's just there's always tea at the end of church service. There's always tea at the end of every funeral. There's always tea and some bake. So they make money out of that, but then it's not sustainable, and it's not scalable, and therefore it just ends up being, when that person who has the recipes passes on, then the business ends. So therefore, that's what I want to empower those women that have those home bakeries, to grow them, to have standard recipes, be able to access funding, be able to access sponsorship, and be able to grow them to big businesses that can have several branches that they can have. So that's what I'm looking towards.
I love it. You've been holding out on me on the food. I like to eat. I like really tasty food. Yeah, we're gonna have to circle back on the food aspect.
Yes.
But as you continue to support women, what do you feel like is the biggest obstacle to their success?
The biggest obstacle, I think, has been the biggest obstacle for myself as well, which is what I've had to deal with. It's the fear of not making it. It's the fear of being not good enough, feeling like you're the imposter in the room. And for most women, they feel that they need to deserve it. They need to deserve to grow. However, it is something that's available, and you need it. It has required a lot of convincing that your business as it is can grow beyond what you see right now, and seeing possibilities, because most of them believe that what they've started is just to be able to put bread on the table, and convincing them that it can actually do better than bringing bread on the table. You can have more employees than you have. You can have a big business. You can run it out of a warehouse. So for most of the women, it's just convincing them that there is endless possibilities out there. So and making them believe in themselves, and making them believe that what they have started is a good initiative, and therefore it can grow and can be bigger than it is. So that confidence, lack of confidence in themselves, lack of confidence in what they're doing and how far it can go has always been, is always a stumbling block. And also especially the ones that venture into male dominated areas like construction, like the transport business. So it's always a struggle convincing them that you can actually rise above what you see. You can actually outshine the men around you. Not I'm saying that they're not good, but we also just as capable.
That is
So
a universal problem for women. So we experience it all over the world.
yeah.
And,
Yeah.
you know, we're talking a lot as we move into International Women's Day. And in the States, we have Women's History Month next month. So we are talking a lot about what it really means to empower women so that they can succeed. And you're already doing it with the work that you're doing right there in Durban. And so why is it important for you to do your work in the place that you grew up?
For me, it's important because I've had opportunities that that I knew that my sisters at home, back at home, I stayed in Joburg for most of my career and got access to travel the world and see what women are doing and have access to Women Leaders of the World Fellowship that other women don't have access to. And so for me, I believe that having access to all of that was not just for myself, was for me to be able to empower others, to be able to pay it forward to others in some way, because I knew what challenges they have. I still know now the challenges that women have. And for them to boldly stand out and say, this is what I want, is such a difficult thing to even say that this is what I want, this is what I deserve. And it's not an easy thing. It has not been an easy thing for myself. So I know what my sisters are struggling with, and I know what our mothers struggled with, and they were happy doing what they were doing. And I felt that there could be more that we could be getting. And even if we empower one woman at a time, one household at a time, we will then change the whole community. We will then, women are the backbone of our communities. We have so many women-headed households in my community. And therefore, if we empower these women, therefore we have a whole community that is thriving and being able to have great success going forward. Unlike as it is right now, like right now we're struggling with just getting children into university. And it's such an unnecessary struggle in a country that claims to have free education. But then access to that free education is what's the biggest challenge now. And that's what I felt, that there are opportunities, but access to them is difficult. And if you don't know how to, it even becomes more difficult. So that's why it was important for me to just be able to, whatever knowledge that I have, whatever skill that I have, be able to pass it forward to other women.
I know that you and I met, and you just talked about women leading women, and we met in this fellowship that you're a part of. And I was just so thrilled that you are a part of my fellowship pod and have been able to get to know you through that. It's really been a blessing to meet you and to learn about your work and just to engage with you, because you bring so much to the table. With that work, as you're developing and growing, as you look into the future of what you could create and give back to others who are coming up behind you, because I know we've talked a lot about mentorship and passing the torch. What are the characteristics of women leaders that you would feel comfortable passing the torch to? What do they look like? What capabilities do they have?
It will be women that have a passion for other women. It will be women that are not afraid. They don't have the fear that I have. They don't they can stand boldly and be able to get into a room and demand to be accommodated, to be given a seat at the table, and be able to confidently say that they are there because they deserve to be there and they want what they deserve, and without a sense of entitlement that is unwarranted. However, be at places that they know that they are well qualified and well able, and be able to do things that they are well able, and also hardworking women. And women naturally are hardworking. However, it is with all the struggles, then they become laid back. But we don't want those women anymore. We want women that will speak boldly about other women, and also be another sister's sponsor, be able to mention another sister's name in a room full of opportunities, and be able to create opportunities for other women. So that is what I would like to see in the future, and pass the torch on to women that are like that are able to just scream each other's names and also empower each other.
You just gave a whole sermon. You just gave a whole women leading women leadership sermon, whatever you want to call it, because it's so true. Like, we need to not only have those women come behind us, but share enough with them so that they have the resources and the ability to be able to stand boldly, because we've supported them. So beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. What is it that gets you up in the morning to do the work that you're doing? Because we've talked a lot about how much time is required to pour into all these women. And sometimes it's challenging. I know I've been sick, you've been sick. There have been all kinds of things that have been going on. So what gets you up in the morning?
It's I think for me, it's the excitement of being able to change another person's life. You will get compliments from, but I don't leave off that. You'll get compliments and a thank you here and there. But the fact that there's still someone who is struggling to start their business, the fact that there's still someone who is still struggling to get their child into university because they don't even know which way to go, and the fact that there is someone whose family is dependent on them alone, and they've got this business that they're running, and beyond themselves it won't survive. That gets me up in the morning. And the fact that there are women that are still standing on the side of the road and hoping to be picked up for a job on a daily basis, and that is just not sustainable, and we're not going to build a society based on that. Those are things that get me up in the morning. I must say there's a lot of discouragement. Some nights you go to bed, you're like, I'm tired of this. Because they bash you so much, you get criticized so much. A friend of mine sent me a quotation last night that it's the nail that sticks out that gets bashed quite a bit. So I was like, oh, I can relate, because I've been receiving a lot of bashing, but it's still like, this is what I was called to do. This is my happy place. This is where I want to be. I don't want to be doing anything else. I'm also into academics, so I've been very busy lately trying to get students into universities and helping women get their children into universities. And it's been such a struggle, realizing that people don't even know that they don't have to have millions, they don't have to be wealthy, and they just, as long as their children qualify, they can get into university. So it's just that going to bed having helped somebody, that's what gets me up.
When you can go to bed, when you get a chance to go to bed.
Well, I get it, yeah, because it's 3 a.m. right now.
I know. I'm so sorry. It's my fault.
That's fine. My day usually starts like at 4 a.m. every day. I'm up.
Yeah, that's the same for me. I've been up since 4 this morning, but in a different time zone. Yes. So since you have a platform to share whatever you want to share, I heard that you are concerned about women understanding how to get their kids into college. there
Yes.
into university. So is there something that you would like to share with them about how to do that or where they can get resources?
Um, it's okay. Access to resources is easy, but they just need to when their children start grade 12, they need to prepare for university and have them ready for university, even if they fail, because most of them right now, what I've realized is they were not confident that the children are going to pass and make it beyond grade 12. So they just need to have confidence whether the child passes or not, but just be prepared for anything and apply at any university that they want to go to, because they've got access to all the universities. Some of them prefer to be closer to home. So for them to be prepared mentally more than anything, and also have them make correct career decisions, because that's another thing that's a big challenge. Make correct career decisions. There are degrees that we have that are not career orientated. So it's important to speak to your children, sit down with your children and decide which career would work best for them. And not all the children need to go to college, just by the way.
So if they don't go to college, what are they doing?
They
Skill?
they have access to skills training centers. We've got TVET colleges that offer different skills, and they can have access to skills. And they've also got TVET colleges that offer entrepreneurship courses. So with South African economy, we want to encourage people to be entrepreneurs. So that is why it's so important for me for women to have their businesses and scale their businesses. And even once their children finish school, they can get into the family business and empower them to run family businesses, because you're going to pass it on to them. And therefore, just give them the skills and allow them to run the business with you and be able to understand how you run the business, how do you do it. And if there is skills that they need, they've got access to skills at TVET colleges. Yeah.
You're talking about creating generational wealth.
Yes, exactly.
Absolutely. Yes. I totally and emphatically agree with that as a concept. So when you go back tomorrow, or actually today, because today is your work day,
Yes.
to the grind of doing your nonprofit work to
Yes.
help women to have advantages and financing for their businesses, where can people reach out if they're interested in getting information about their business?
If they want to join the organization, because you need to be a member in the organization. However, we do have people that are part of the organization but are members in waiting, because our shareholding is a bit steep for other women. They can reach out to me, Zanele Khanyile, and on my cell phone number or email address, zanelekhanyile@gmail.com, which is easily accessible. And also we are also on our details are on the Central Bank of South Africa. They've listed all the cooperative financial institutions that are licensed by them. So it's much easier, and also people are much more comfortable getting our contacts from there. So yeah, we are listed as Ndlovukazi KwaZulu Women Financial Services. Yeah.
Love it. So I saw that you got an award for this work that you've been doing recently. Tell me about it.
We had, like I said, we were founded in 2018, and we had worked there was legislation changes in the process. There was government changes in the process as well. So we've been walking that journey of getting our license through all of that. And then we got the license in 2020. And then we started operations. So we got awarded as the best newly founded cooperative financial institutions. There were several of us that got licensed around the same time, and we were so excited. So we were the best newly founded, how we set up our systems, how we set up our operations, and also our business plan and how we started. We just hit the ground running. Unfortunately, it was COVID, so we had to change everything to be digital, though that was not the plan in the first place. However, we just had to adapt to it, and that's how we got the award. We're hoping to
Congratulations.
maintain it. Thank you
You
so
didn't tell
much.
me that in the program. You're just telling me that now, and I'm kind of offended.
I don't know. I
So,
don't think.
because it's important. It's important for us to celebrate all of the wonderful things that we do. It's part of
Yeah,
how we continue to remind ourselves that we're important and the work that we do
it's
is
being
creating
recognized.
change.
Yes.
So I went to your social media pages today
Yes.
and did some research. And I saw that you are one, a transformational leader, a social entrepreneur and governance specialist, and chef educator.
Yes, I am.
And so, what does transformation mean to you?
Transformation for me is it's beyond changing people's lives. It's beyond taking you out of poverty, but it's getting you to understand who you are and what you're capable of. It's getting you to understand that the business, your current state right now, cannot be the end of it. So you can be at a better place. You can be a better person than you are currently, and also be able to transform other people's lives beyond yourself, and be able, like you spoke about, generational wealth, be able to create something that stands beyond you, that you that lives beyond yourself. So for me, there is transformational leadership of women from their current state to a state that is transformation to the whole community rather than themselves and their families. So it's just not limiting yourself to what you know and what you are capable of.
I love it. I love it because I'm big on transformation. So I absolutely
I
love that.
you said
So, last question for you. We talk a lot about growth. I talk a lot about growth with all of you. I'm
yes.
sure y'all are sick of it. But share with me an area in which you've grown and been able to develop into what I just shared, this transformational leader, social entrepreneur, governance specialist, chef educator, managing director of the financial services cooperative. Like, what growth did you have to undergo in order to get to where you are now?
Sure, it's been a lot. It's been a lot because I've always been a sort of back of house kind of person, wherein I won't be in the front and speaking about myself or speaking about, I'm more of an administrator, sitting in the back, setting up systems, setting up all the administration. So I've had to grow into talking about myself like I'm doing now, and to confidently do it and be visible. And I've had to grow to being visible because I never believed in being visible. I just believe that my work speaks for myself, and it's an area of growth that I needed to understand that it's not everyone that's going to have access to my work. So I need to be able to speak about my work, to be able to speak about myself, to be able to present myself, and be able to define what it is that I do and what it is that I don't do, and also to be able to transform people's life. I need to be able to then get into their spaces, get to the understanding of who they are and how are they doing and why they're doing what they're doing. Because at some point, I just believe that with the information that I have, I understood everything, but I've had to learn that there is no blanket solution that is for everything. Every woman has a story, and I need to listen to every story. I need to understand every story, and I do not have solutions for everything. I can make suggestions, I can make recommendations, but it cannot solve everything. And I think through COVID, I've learned that the challenges are just so many, and some of them may not be solved today, may not be solved tomorrow, but there will be steps towards that. Every day there is a goal that we set for ourselves, and we will be able to grow through that. So it's something that I've had to grow. And also for me was embracing my own personal diversity. Like, I'm a transformational leader, an academic, and also a chef. And most people will ask, how do you do all these things? Why all these things? They're just so diverse. And I've also got a footballing background. You would not have found that in my session. So I've had to embrace that. My diversity has made me the person that I am now, and be able to, and I've learned all of this throughout my career and throughout the places I've been, the things that I've done, and that's what they've made me to be who I am today. And this is just the beginning for me. Like, I'm learning so much in this space with Brandi, and I'm like growing out of my comfort zone. I'm like, oh, this is hard, but it's doable.
You are amazing. You are doing amazing work. And I just plucked you up like at the right stage where you were ready to have some deeper conversations. But the work, you had already laid the seeds for that. Your mother had, the people around you had. You came to this space with How Women Lead already ready. And I just cannot wait to see what's going to happen next. And I want some food out of it, though. And I need a plate.
You get food out of it.
No footballing, but just food.
Yes. No, you definitely get food out of it, too.
So the group told me that they're going to send me over a video of you giving your speech that I can use. Oh.
Hello, everyone. I'm Zanele Khanyile from South Africa. A business I started in 2004 went under in 2009 when I fell ill, making me part of the statistics of 60% of women-owned businesses not surviving beyond the 5-year mark. I believe women are the engines of communities, and that their economic position will lead to societal success and economic freedom. Women-owned businesses lack scalability, growth, and sustainability. And this is due to several reasons, including lack of business acumen, business skills, strategic direction, and access to funding. Many organizations address access to funding, but without the business acumen, skills, and business growth, and sustainability is still not going to happen. My vision is to empower women with skills that will enable them to create generational wealth. I will do this through a 1-year incubation program that takes 10 women and provides them with business skills training to develop a 10-year strategic plan that will see their businesses in empowering women realize their dream of creating generational wealth through their businesses. Thank you.
I'll check with you first, but they did tell me that they're going to send me the speech. And I was like, did you ask her if that was okay? I was like, I'm going to interview Zanele. And they were like, oh, we'll send you her speech so you can share it.
Oh, yeah. No. I think we signed that. Yes, that can be used for any promotional material. So yes, you can go ahead and use my speech. I wasn't confident about my speech. You know how much work went into that.
You are amazing. You are amazing. So I just appreciate you, and we'll be right back. was an amazing conversation with Zanele, and I hope that you will support her work, follow her on social media, and continue to engage with people across this world to do the work that we have to do. My healing work has transformed the lives of my family and offered them an opportunity to develop in ways they may not have if I had not done my own work. And so what I'd love for you to think about today is, how do you connect with people around the world to lock arms and get things done? As we see the conflict in Ukraine and think about all of the things that are going on in the world, how do you make friends? How do you ensure that you are learning and growing and developing from and with people that you don't know? So I'd love for you to share that with me. Share how you are growing and developing with women, men, other people internationally as your Operation Growth moment this week. And you can share it by tagging me on at Operation Growth on Instagram, or using the hashtag Operation Growth Moment. And I'd love to hear from you. Active personal development is my way of life. I asked God to grow, and he gave me a whole bunch of stuff and say, here you go. And I hope that my growth helps you. This is Brandi Richard Thompson signing off for now here on Operation Growth.
It is the